Okay, so this is a channel we say deeply awake. Kathy Vickies. Okay. We wish to talk to you today about the responsibility inherent in the social contracts which bind you. Each have social contracts. We call them social contracts because, you know, it must be qualified, this word, contracts. We do not want to bring up the idea of legality. The legal system, we tell you, is about being divorced from source and being lost within rules which actually have a structure and form a labyrinth. Beautiful. Yes, of course, but we are not talking about the justice system here. What we refer to is a grander reality. There is a responsibility inherent in your interactions with others. The one before you did many tapes and was unable to speak, and so we would like to explain. The expectation currently is to not notice how self or other feel, to not make this the primary focus, but instead industry, pursuits, physical completions, and the long grind of day to day, keeping it together. Well, it's important. Gotta keep it all together. Gotta make sure the other person can look upon you and be pleased. This is done by knowing the rules and by being able to measure objectively things that are immeasurable. You matter. You, pure. You matter. The words you say, the words you withhold, the risks you take, and the many behaviors you think are risky that you do not take. You matter. You may know this, of course, if you hold your baby, if you speak to your child on the phone to hear about their newest venture or happiness. Hard to know you matter if your loved ones berate, belittle, bemoan who and what you are. This requires shells, deep, thick shells surrounding the heart, surrounding the emotions. What you think, how you feel matters. To who? Well, here's the deal. So, to your children, to your spouse, to your lover, to your employer, you matter. Is it a dollars and cents kind of thing? Or is how you feel important to them? This is a good question to ask. And if how you feel is important to them, is the feedback you receive from them encouraging, loving, or is it demeaning and disrespectful? There is a responsibility inherent in being a human being, in knowing that in the end, although you may have a chorus of individuals telling you that you do or do not matter, that your feelings do or do not matter, the truth is, there is something more. It is not just the personality structure that matters. When we say you matter, sure, we know there is the personality structure, the storyline, the encoded desires, and eventual happinesses, eventual losses. You matter to you because you have a soul. You matter to your soul. You, how you feel, matters to your soul, to your God. To your inner reality. You matter. And we would say, connecting to this soul, meshing with it, allows a perspective which is absent when one is living simply for goal pursuit and completion. You matter. How you feel, what you think, what you know to be true matters to you. Do you think your soul isn't you? You, dear one, you are your soul. What we are suggesting here is a movement from using the exterior as feedback loop into a place where what is occurring internally is the prime awareness, and then there is a fluid bonding with the inevitable physical reality. But seeing, knowing physical reality is but a shimmery emanation from each human being's soul. You matter. What you think, how you feel, what you know to be true. And these are the times when what you think, how you feel, and what you know to be true might very well be changing at a core level within. And the bonds, the rules, the expectations of these outside influences begin to fade, begin to be brought into a different proportion. Still sacred, still important and beautiful, however, not the primary font of knowledge, merely a representation of what is going on within. For we say, habitual responses net expected response. It is very nice to be in the familiar, to feel cozy, to feel safe. Beware. Beware. Familiarity. Yes, it is calming. It is calming. It's the idea. There are those who go from comfort to refugee, homeless, disenfranchised status. Do they matter? Did they matter more when their lives contained within a structure? And they were doing things that were traditionally expected? Do they? To their souls, of course. It is an ongoing symphony of creativity. The soul, the human being, has worth, regardless of where they lay their head or what their political or living status is like. You matter. This does not mean you can do it wrong. You can be unskilled, sure, and then you're given another opportunity and another opportunity. This is the idea. It's ongoing. And this is what we want to end with. We want to remind you habitual reality. Attending to things in the environment and then no longer attending to them. That is what familiarity is. The brain no longer attends to certain data, either due to dissonance, discomfort, or a requirement that is survivally based, survivalistic. You have the opportunity daily, 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 daily to choose a different response, to do something unfamiliar. You, this day, every day, have the opportunity to prove to yourself how much you matter to you. We would say that most people spend most of their time concerned about how, if they matter to others, and why, to some degree. But we say, walking along that path of why do I matter to you, when all you can do is put me down and insult me? Why do I matter to you, when all you can do is remind me what a great disappointment I am? Why? Why? We would suggest, when in those kind of situations, you dear, you are trying to figure out if you matter. You have put yourself in situations which have allowed yourself to ask that question. Some of you have to ask it many times a day because you are thoroughly stripped of your dignity by others. Stripped of your importance. Rewarded for going along to get along. Oh dear ones, you matter. How you feel, what you think, what you know matters to your soul. This is the place where the love starts. And when we say love, can you imagine a world? We ask you to close. Can you imagine a world where from morning until night you are greeted with respectful admiration and great cooperation, respect, honor? Can you? Can you imagine day upon day upon day of this kind of love? Well, if that is your environment, that is what you bathe in at work and at home, we say bravo. Bravo, you have done well. We ask you, simply only to consider that if those around you are indeed locking eyes with you and beaming in joy and relief, we would suggest that you know about this soul thing. You know you matter. You know you are safe. Your reality is your tracer for this. You matter. What you think, what you feel, and what you know to be true matters to you, to your soul. It seems kind of obvious. Why do we repeat it? Because in truth, it's not as obvious as it seems. This is what we have to say today. We hope that it has been helpful to you. We wish for you to know that during these times of shift and change, you are not alone. And if everyone around you turns as one, looks at you and snarls and says, "You, get out of here," which sometimes happens to some. They need that level of discard to go within. Well, you know, it's purposeful. Everything happening to you is purposeful. It's on time. And we would say, yes, the one before you, she had training. Yep. Many like her had training, and most did not. It is it is a responsibility. It is a path. That is all. That is all. So you let the loud brush one do as she wishes. She talks and talks. Informing her is that multitude, those legions. She, the one before you, spoke of, which ride around in her soul. You matter. And that this is a greeting that must be articulated, tells us, and should inform you. This is an age passing now which values very highly being disconnected and certainly discounting one's inner reality. This is why the message is as strong as it is. You matter. Where you lay your head each night, what you do with your 24 precious hours today, who you associate with, how you think about them, what you feel about them, what you know to be true about the ventures all that matters. Is it accurate? Is it true? Is it right? Well, those are fascinating questions with equally fascinating answers. Those answers may be gained on the ground, in conversation, certainly, in allegory, in metaphor, sure. They're easily accessed simply by quieting down and asking a couple of questions and listening for the answers. Okay, this is all we have to say. Long, 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 but important today, especially today. You matter. Your happiness, your peace, your feeling.